Good morning, children. Welcome back. We are continuing the chapter Structural Organization in Animals. In this chapter, now we are coming to study or coming to see the third type of tissues called muscular tissues. Muscular tissues. What are muscular tissues? The tissues which helps in the movement of our body through contraction or by contraction. The muscular tissues provided the movements of our body and also helps in locomotion. So the muscles which helps in the movements and locomotion of the body through contraction. But bones and cartilages do not do contraction. They also help in the movements of our body, but they are through contraction of the muscle cells helping the movement of our body. So muscle tissues are made up of muscle fibers. Muscle fibers are the structural and functional unit of muscle tissues. Muscle fibers. Muscle fibers are long fibers. They are not short or round or cylindrical. They are elongated and long cells. Muscle fibers are the structural and functional unit of the muscle tissues, and they are very long. Okay, sometimes they are even longer, up to 20 centimeter in our body. Now, muscle tissues are of three categories: striated muscles, unstriated muscles, and cardiac muscles. I am writing here, you can see the difference. Striated muscles, unstriated. Unstriated muscles are also called smooth muscles. And the last one is cardiac muscles. Okay, so striated muscles. What are the features of striated muscles? It is the striated muscle that connect to the bones. Striated muscles connect to the bones. So muscles which are associated with the bones, they are called skeletal muscles. Striated muscles are called skeletal muscles because they are associated or connected to the bones. Now the striated muscles, as you can see, are unbranched and cylindrical. You can see striated muscles. They are unbranched but cylindrical. First point, unbranched. Striated muscles are unbranched, cylindrical in shape, cylinder-like, and they are multinucleate. They have many nucleus. Multinucleate condition is also called cenocytic or multinucleate. Now, the notable feature of this striated muscles is that they have dark and light striations or band. They have dark and light striations or bands. Hence the name striated muscles. So the next one, they have dark and light bands, BANDS. Okay, right. The next point you can say, the dark and light striations or bands are due to contractile protein. So what are contractile protein? Actin and myosin. Actin and myosins are contractile protein. They are ultimate protein which can contract and relax when they receive the stimulus. What stimulus? Threshold stimulus. A stimulus adequate to create an action potential. That is called a threshold stimulus. Action potential, when it comes to the muscles, this actin and myosin will activated and develop action potential, and thereby they can create or develop the what we call impulses. So action potential results in impulse formation. We call it a sensory impulse. Okay, so when the striated muscles receive the stimulus, they can contract. Actually, this contraction is caused due to actin and myosin contractile protein. Now, these are the main points about the striated muscles. So, they are unbranched cylindrical. Second, sinusoidal. What is the meaning of sinusoidal? Multinucleate. Why they develop dark and light bands? Because of the presence of two contractile proteins. Contractile protein. What are the two contractile proteins? Actin and myosin. So, actin and myosin provide them dark and light striations, hence the name striated muscles, and they are ultimate units of contraction of the muscles, thereby moving our body or help in locomotion of our body from one place to another. Now the second type of muscular tissue is called unstriated muscles. They are smooth, they do not have striations or bands, they are smooth. Their shape of the cell you can compare. They are spindle shape. Spindle shape means fusiform. What is fusiform shape? A shape with both ends are tapered. Tapered means pointed, and middle part is swollen. They are uninucleate, having single nucleus. Large number of smooth muscles are connected to each other through cell junctions. Large number of smooth muscles are connected to each other through cell junctions. These are the cell junctions, the meeting point or joining point of the smooth muscle cell. We call the cell junction. Okay. There are three types of cell junction we have already studied in the compound epithelium. They are tight junction, Athari junction, and also loose junction. Okay, so such junctions are there between the cells. Now, a large number of unstriated smooth muscles connected by a sheath of connective tissue and form what is called a muscular tissue. So, muscular tissue really consists of muscular cells. They are smooth cells, and large number of muscular cells, particularly unstriated or smooth cells, connected by connective tissue and form the unstriated muscle. They are what we call involuntary muscles. Involuntary. At the same time, the striated muscles, which are otherwise called skeletal muscles, are voluntary in nature. Voluntary. What is voluntary? The muscles which work on our will and wish, according to our interest and will and wish. But here, involuntary muscles cannot work with our will. They are beyond the will and wish. They work beyond the will and wish, without the will and wish. And they are mainly found in the blood cells, blood vessels, around the blood vessels, around the nephrons. So nephrons are working not with our wish. Blood vessels dilate or contract when the blood flows through it, beyond our will and wish. So involuntary muscles are mainly found, this type of muscles are mainly found at the walls of the blood vessels and nephrons. But all skeleton or bones are associated with the striated muscles. Now we are coming to the last part of these muscles, cardiac muscles, which are cylindrical in shape, just like our skeletal muscles, but they are branched. That is one of the difference between the striated muscles and cardiac muscles. They are branched. Now the second difference is that they are uninucleate, having single nucleus. Unlike striated muscles which are multinucleate, here it is uninucleate. You can see striations, light striations, but they are not called the striated muscles, or the striations are not clear. Unlike the striatal muscles where the striations bands are very clear here. In cardiac muscles, the striations are very light. They are unicellular, having single cell, branched, cylindrical, without clear striations. These muscles are involuntary muscles found in the heart. The 24 hours rhythmic contraction, RHYTHMIC, 24 hours rhythmic contraction and relaxation of the heart muscles are due to these cardiac muscles. 24 hours work, so they are very effective and powerful muscles, cardiac muscles. So what are the features of cardiac muscles? Cylindrical muscles, branched, uninuclear, striations are not clear, then they work beyond our will and wish, hence they are called involuntary muscles. They work 24 hours in a rhythmic manner. So these are the three types of muscular tissues. With the diagram, it is explained. You can learn more points from the text and from the notes given. Now coming to the last part of this chapter. Neural tissues. Fourth type of tissues in animals are neural tissues. Neural tissues or nervous tissues. The tissues which helps in the communication of various organs and cells. The tissues which helps in the communication. How the neural cells are communicated each other. You know, neural tissues are made up of nerve cells or neurons. What is the structural and functional unit of neural tissue or nervous tissue? Neurons. They are otherwise called nerve tissues. Nerve cells. Nerve cells. Neurons or nerve cells. You know, a neuron even can be longer up to 1 meter. So there are millions and millions of neurons connected each other, thereby connecting and contracting our different sense organs or receptor organ with our central nervous system, brain and spinal cord. So brain and spinal cord get connected to various parts of the body, various cells of the body through neural tissue or nervous tissue. What is the structural and functional unit of the nervous tissue? Neuron. What is the another name for neuron? Nerve cells. Then what are the parts of the neuron? Neuron consists of nearly 4 parts. So the diagram of neurons, you have already learned it in class 10. Neurons have 3 parts. A single neuron has 3 parts. The first part of the neuron, which will receive the stimulus from outside. That part of the neuron, we call it dendrites. Dendrites are organs which receive the stimulus from outer medium. Dendrites are accumulated in receptor organ or sense organ. 5 sense organs are accumulated with the dendrites tip. So the dendrite tips connect the stimulus and generate impulses, what we call sensory impulses. So sensory impulses are generated in the dendrites tip of the sense organs. There, dendrites sets off chemical reaction and produce the impulse. That impulse now pass through the dendron. Dendrite leads to dendron. Dendron to the cell body. Cell body receive the impulses generated by all these dendrites. So dendrites generate the impulses that pass through the dendron and finally come to the cell body. So cell body receive all the sensory impulses coming from the sense organ. sense organ in turn contain the dendrite tip. Right? Now, the cell body collect all the impulses, sensory impulses, and send through a long fiber called axon. Axon. So it is through the axon that sensory impulses are passing, and ultimately it reaches the tip of the axon. We call axonites. Axonites. Axonites are called axon tips. They are very important for generating the chemical impulse. Sensory impulses now converted to chemical impulses in the axon tip. This axon tip is called a presynaptic node. Presynaptic node. Right? So this is the general structure of a neuron. Neuron is the structural and functional unit of the nervous tissue. A neuron consists of dendrite, dendron, then cell body, then axon, axonite. You know, axon contains myelin sheath, M-Y-E-L-I-N, myelin sheath, sheath of a protein called myelin, M-Y-E-L-I-N, myelin sheath. Myelin sheath really speed up the impulses passing through the axon. Why there is a covering or coating of the myelin sheath around the axon? Because the myelin sheath, M-Y-E-L-I-N, myelin sheath increase the speed of the impulses passing through the axon. Thereby the axon or the nerve cell or neuron become the fastest communication system in our body. So neurons or nervous tissue is the fastest communication system because of the presence of the myelin sheath. Myelin sheath make the impulses move very faster. So the details of this you might have seen in the previous years. In between the myelin sheath there is a gap. This is called knots of Ranvier. NODS, knots of Ranvier. R-A-N-V-I-E-R. So what is the function of knots of Ranvier in between the myelin sheath? They really speed up to the maximum level. So the impulses passing through the axon is faster, but once it reaches the knots or Ranvier gap, the impulses jump to the next myelin sheath. So in this way, impulses can move faster, and knots or Ranvier make the impulses move still faster by making it a simple jump of the impulses from myelin sheath to myelin sheath. This makes the passing or communication of impulses faster. So the nervous tissue is the fastest means of communication in our body. That's all about this chapter. Thank you. 18.